Hi everyone, my name is Megan Thomas and I will be talking about understanding the association between admission source and in-hospital delirium, a retrospective cohort study. And I'd like to thank all of the other co-authors that are listed below. So a little bit of background, inter-hospital transfer is associated with increased length of stay, mortality, and discharge to a facility. Similarly, we know that delirium occurs about 11 to 42% in hospitalized patients. It also is associated with increased mortality and length of stay. The etiology of both is unknown. Our hypothesis is that inter-hospital transfers are more likely to experience in-hospital delirium as compared to patients admitted to the hospital via the emergency department and clinic. Our study objective was to evaluate whether admission source, specifically inter-hospital transfer, is independently associated with in-hospital delirium. Again, this is a retrospective cohort study between the time period of August 2018 and January 2020. Our exposure variable was admission source, and we used it as a categorical variable using inter-hospital transfer, emergency department, and clinic. Our primary outcome was in-hospital delirium. We use this by using a screening tool called a BCAM screening, which is a brief cognitive assessment method. We also used a multivariable regression model to control for potential confounders that you can see in the table 1 above. We looked at age, gender, race, marital status, distance to MUSC, poverty, Charleston Comorbidity Index, medication exposure, and whether they were admitted to the ICU during their hospitalization. And you could see our admission criteria in this graph below. What you'll see in the figure 1, you'll see the percent positive of first BCAM assessment upon admission based on admission source. And so what you'll see is the rate of delirium among emergency department patients is 11.8. The rate of delirium in clinic patients is 5.8. And this is compared to the delirium rate in inter-hospital transfer patients at 22.2%. Again, these are crude results. And what I'll show you, direct your attention to table 2 in the top right-hand corner of the poster. And what you'll see here is this is our multivariable regression model for delirium. Again, we controlled for the confounders listed in table 1. And what you'll see is similar results as the figure 1. But what you'll see is we use emergency department as our reference group. And you'll see that there is a reduced odds ratio for clinic of 0.606 and a higher odds ratio of patients from inter-hospital transfer at 1.3. This means patients admitted through inter-hospital transfer had higher odds of in-hospital delirium when compared to the emergency department. Similarly, patients admitted through clinic had lower odds of delirium when compared to the emergency department. By identifying the increased risk of delirium in inter-hospital transfer patients, we can begin to understand the increased morbidity and mortality suffered by these patients. Thank you, and I'd like to thank the American Delirium Society for having me, and I'll take any questions.